Audie, nice to meet you here.
Oh, nice to meet you.
What new trading technology, strategy, or ideas did you learn from Tony Turner's presentation?
Well, I came because I know what the moving averages are, but I could never use them. And the MACD divergence, I knew what that was too, but she really clarified the MACD divergence. And the moving averages she explained quite well. I was really impressed with her.
How do you think this strategy can help you, is helpful for your future investment?
Well, if you're staying above the moving averages, it made sense the way she figured it out. You just have to be careful when you're trading that it conforms to what you think. There's always risk, but it definitely works in your favor.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so
That's
much.
it.
It's good. Nice to meet you.
You too.
What's your purpose to participate in this expo?
I'm just looking to get some information, more day trading, swing trading.
Are you have a special interesting topics?
More or less something like this with the moving averages, anything to do with the candlesticks, relative strength, different indicators.
What new investment strategy ideas did you learn from Tony Turner's presentation?
It was good how to use the moving averages for your trade entries and even for your stops to get out of a stock.
How do you think it is helpful for your future investment?
Well, I'm going to look into and study the moving averages more, and hopefully that'll help me with my entries as far as getting into a stock and again also getting out of the stock with a good profit.
The moving average is the most method to look at a stock.
Yeah, it seems so. She was explaining how if the price is above the different moving averages that she uses, that you want to get in and ride that stock up. And then if they cross or the price crosses below the moving averages, then you're going to look to get out.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Hi, Seth. Nice to meet you. Can you briefly introduce yourself and your product?
Sure. My name is Seth Brooks. I work in Fidelity Investments in the Fidelity Labs group. It's the R&D group within Fidelity. The product we've been working on and showing today at the show is the world's first virtual reality investing application. So essentially, we've worked on a product that allows you to take your portfolio, take a watch list, input it in, and you're actually able to see your portfolio as a virtual city. One of the things that we also did was take that basic concept of creating your portfolio as a city, and we started to run it on Oculus Rift, which is a company that Facebook had purchased for $2 billion back in March of last year. So now with our tool, you can actually look at it in 3D, walk through your portfolio. So the city that you see here, the height of the building shows the price of the stocks, the width of the building is the number of shares outstanding, and the depth of the building is the trade volume. We also build another couple of interesting things. So when the market's open, it's daytime. When the market's closed, it's nighttime. When the market's down, it's sort of raining. So we hope this is a tool that actually help investors get a better sense of their portfolio and be able to get new insights. So one of the things that you can do is you can actually get access to this on fidelitylabs.com today. So you can go on, even without Oculus Rift, you can actually look at the portfolio city and create your own sort of watch list and see how your portfolio looks.
Can you show us a little?
Sure. So if you look here, what Oculus Rift does is it essentially has two lenses. So inside, you'll have a left eye and a right eye, and you can see on the screen basically what you see in Oculus Rift. So with this, you're actually looking in your portfolio. So right now the market's closed because it's Sunday, so it's nighttime, and you can see based on the portfolio, there's a lot of red in the building, so it's similar to sort of a heat map. You can also see that it's divided by sector. So here's the healthcare sector, and you can get a sense of overall this portfolio that we set up is a little bit down. But as you build your own portfolio, you get a sense of your own city and how it's evolving.
Oh, it's cool. It's really interesting product. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, sir, would you mind briefly introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Brian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? So, Brian, what brings you to this show?
Well, New York's one of the most metropolitan cities in the world, and of course, a financial opportunity to see a trade show about what's going on in the industry is a really great opportunity.
Are you an investor or broker?
Mortgage banking and, of course, real estate investor.
So, will you come to this Traders Expo again next time?
I think there's an opportunity to see what's happening in the industry, and it's a really good opportunity to come and see some of the people who are showing some of their new trades, so I think it would be a good idea.
Which specific speakers you're looking for in this show?
Well, I think the TD Ameritrade presentation up in the front was a really good opportunity to see what's going on there, and there's a trading opportunity in the back where it teaches you how to be an online day trader. There's a school here in the New York City area.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
恭喜發財。
在本次 Traders Expo 金融交易员大会上呢，我们也遇到了我们的老朋友 Fausto Pugliese. Well, so nice to see you again, Mr. Pugliese. So about this Traders Expo show, what is your topic this time?
My main topic was talking about high-frequency trading and more teaching more of the active trading where the market's been going. And great feedback, great audience. They do a great job here. Listeners would have a good time if they were here.
Wow, that's good. Well, I want to ask you about Alibaba. Since Alibaba's stock price has hit a new bottom low, so is there any strategies you recommend traders to hedge their risk?
Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of Alibaba. I traded when the IPO came out, and I actually sold it, but I bought it back. I think it's still a great company. I mean, it's got to find its bottom. The thing you got to understand about trading is that you don't want to be in what's called uncharted territories. And when you break those lows, you got to make sure that the chart, you got the supports there, and it's going to be there for a while. But if you're looking to buy it, I would probably wait and let it build some type of stability, and then let it stay there for a little while, let some volume pick up, and then you'll find the bottom for it. I mean, that's what happened. Like for example, Facebook went through the same thing.
Right. So people say after when the lockup period ends on March 18th, there will be more selling on Alibaba. Do you agree?
Well, I don't know if there could be more selling. It all depends on when the earnings announcements come out. I mean, then I would probably wait until then.
Okay.
All right.
Then what about Apple? Since Apple's market cap is hitting the all-time high, so do you think the stock price will keep rising, or is it time to sell Apple now?
You know what? Apple's breaking all-time highs, and it's in what we call uncharted territories. They have so much money in market cap. I mean, it hit the bottom. I mean, it's a great long-term investment still. I mean, I own it in a way. I still like it. I mean, that's got to be at like 4 or 5% in the past like a month or two.
Right.
So when stocks break all-time highs, and hopefully they'll probably announce another stock split, but I don't see it any bottom anytime soon.
Are you a trader or investor?
I manage a hedge fund, so we look at things from a bigger picture from an investing perspective and then work our way down to more tactical trading opportunities.
What do you think about this expo?
I think Traders Expo is great. I've been coming for years. It's a great opportunity for me to hang out with friends and traders from all over the country and all over the world for that matter. I'm fortunate enough that I get invited to speak and present. I'm giving a presentation tomorrow, so I look forward to that, and I always like interacting with traders and sharing ideas and things like that, so I think it's great.
Cool. Are you, which speakers are you interested in?
I'm actually looking forward to my friend Jeff Hirsch, who's the Stock Traders Almanac. He's going to be presenting today at 6 o'clock. And there's also a guy by the name of Joe Fahmy. Joe Fahmy's a great trader as well. He gives a great presentation on relative strength, and those are two that I'm always very excited to see.
As we all know, the U.S. market gets stronger right now. What do you think about that? U.S. stock market.
About the U.S. stock market? I think there's going to be some sectors that are going to be outperforming and some that are underperforming. I think for the time being, things look relatively stable. I think there's going to be opportunities on both the long side and the short side. In terms of the averages overall as a group, they'll probably do well this year. Seasonally speaking, this is, 2015 points to a positive year overall. And, with global markets stabilizing around the world, seeing renewed strength in Europe, I find it hard to see a major dramatic correction coming anytime soon.
Cool. About Apple, what do you think about Apple stock in the future?
I mean, it's the biggest company in the world. It's making new highs. It's not a bad thing. So, I don't like to speak on individual equities particular. I'm not a sell-side analyst, but what are you going to say about that company that isn't good? The biggest company in the world keeps making new highs.
Cool.
Hard to argue with that.
Cool. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for
you.
having me. Sure.
Andrew, nice to meet you today.
Nice to see you.
Welcome
to New York.
Thank you. Well, how do you think about this expo?
I've spoken at the expos the last 5 years, both here and Vegas. It's a great area, a stage for analysts to communicate and meet investors and traders face to face and explain what we do.
So I know you are a speaker. So can you talk about a little bit about your presentation?
Well, I'm known primarily for momentum analysis, the relative strength index, measuring the velocity at which prices are changing, and identifying trend, recognizing trend change, and forecasting new price targets.
What do you think about U.S. dollars? Will it get?
I've been bullish, very strong the last year, and still strong.
Wow. How about in rest of the year?
Rest of the year, I think it's still going to continue to move. I don't see any reason to change. I don't look at any of the fundamentals. I look at a chart. And today's technicals forecast tomorrow's headlines. So nothing has changed. The patterns and everything I use for momentum keep it in a strong uptrend.
So about U.S. stock posted strong gains in February.
Right.
What do you think about it? Do you have any trading strategies? For
Well, I'm
investors?
still long. I'm still long dollar, short crude, short euro. Stock markets, India, Shanghai, they all are pretty much rolling the way they've been rolling for a while. I don't see a reason to change it. Have not seen the patterns that normally tell me it's about ready to change. Still positive.
What do you think about oil? It will go upward.
Oil, I've been very negative on, expecting to see it go down. One of the types of, what I do with the relative strength index is I determine where it is on a scale between 0 and 100. And the momentum analysis has stayed in the lower half of the chart, which I call the bear range. And it has not been in the bull range since the middle of June at $95 a barrel. Still down, probably go to 40, 42.
Okay. How about gold?
Gold, I'm long-term bullish on. It could be basing. I think it's going to stay above 1,000. A lot of people saying it's going to 700, but it's starting to show evidence it's trying to bottom and probably going to go higher. Minimum, I would expect to see 1,500, 1,550, and longer term, with all the QE and the monies of printing, I think you'll see 2,000 again. Not next week. Probably take a year.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today.
That was
Thank
great
you.
to be with you.
Hello, John. Nice to meet you today.
Nice to meet you.
Are you a trader or investor?
Both.
What do you think about this expo?
I like it. They have a lot of good speakers, and you get to kind of see the different platforms.
Which speaker are you interested in?
Kathy Lean, I'm looking
Why?
forward. I've seen her at past shows, and she's very good.
What will you tell your friends?
Oh,
about
what? If you're interested in trading or investing, put in some time here. You get to be exposed to a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of different ways people trade and invest.
Are you looking for a broker or self-direct education?
Self-direct education.
Why?
Nobody's smarter than me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, well, thank you.
I'm a trader. My parents passed away. They didn't even spend their Social Security. I have an account with $200,000 in it, which I actively trade, where I buy stocks in anticipation of earnings reports using day trading buying power. The value is $203,000 on 12/31. The value as of Friday was $232,000. As of Thursday, it was $239,000. I guessed wrong on one of the earnings on one of the companies that I bought on Thursday.
Do you have any interested speaker?
I look forward to hearing Tom or Todd Sosnoff, who is being sponsored by TD Ameritrade this evening. When I was here 8 years ago, he talked about volatility being at an all-time low at that time in February of 2007, and said, perhaps that's a sign that things are about to turn. And he was right in that supposition.
Cool. What will you tell about your friends about this expo?
Many members of the general public here who are doing things on their own through discounters and super discounters who would be better served going to a full-service broker and paying full-service commissions. Even though most full-service brokers in Manhattan need to have a minimum size account of $250,000. Outside of Greater New York, full-service brokers can accept accounts of smaller size than $50,000. I was a retail broker for a dozen years. I'm a CPA, though I'm not practicing accounting.
Are you looking for a broker or self-direct education?
No, I'm primarily here to be entertained by a lot of people who should not be trading on as aggressively as I have. In the 1950s, somebody who inherited $250,000, $250,000, that would be enough to survive on for the rest of your life, and you could go to Las Vegas once a year and lose $2,000 without a worry in the world, and get everything for free because of those $2,000 in losses. And today's financial markets, in less than 15 minutes, you can lose, beginning with $1 million in capital, you can lose your entire life savings, your house, and your spouse divorcing you. You can easily lose, a person with $1 million capital can easily lose all of it in less than 15 minutes trading. This is the vast majority of the general public is much, much more comfortable with aggressive trading than they should be. The downside risk is really enormous. Now, what's happened is the millennials in the U.S., people in their 20s and early 30s, are as distrustful of the financial markets as their grandparents were. Most of the people in their 20s and 30s do not go into the stock market, especially if they haven't gone to college. If they have any savings, it just goes into the bank, into CDs. And certainly they don't even buy. They won't even buy bond funds.
Thank you for joining us
You're
today.
welcome.
Thank you.